Hello everyone. Welcome to Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. Today we are going to learn very interesting and also important topic in system Verilog randomization, which is solve before. A lot of people feel confused when going through this topic, and a lot of people are still not able to solve their confusion. So today what we are going to do, we are going to understand this concept in easy language. Then through certain simple examples we are going to understand, and we are going to run those coding examples, observe the output, and with that, after understanding the output, the concept of solve before is going to be very clear. After today you should not get confused whenever you hear about solve before. Let's get started. First, you need to understand what is the motivation or the reason behind having this solve before construct. What is the use of this solve before? By default, the constraint solver in system Verilog will assign equal probability to all possible solutions of your constraint. Say, for example, you have given certain constraint. You have two variable A and B, and you have given certain constraints. Now, due to whatever constraints you have given, there are only three possible solutions. Whatever three possible solutions you have, the constraint solver in system Verilog is going to assign equal probability, which is one third. Each and every possible solution will get equal probability of one third. Now I want to change this probability. So this is one very important usage of solve before. Change the probability of distribution. When you use solve before, each and every solution is not going to have equal distribution. Why do we do this? Because I am interested in generating certain values more often compared to some other values. Because I feel that these certain values will help me improve the quality of my verification, or I feel that the certain values which I am generating more frequently have more chances of design bug. That is why I want to generate these values more frequently compared to others. Some important points which you should remember while using solve before is that the dependency of variables in solve before cannot be bidirectional. What do I mean by this? Say, for example, I have two variables A and B. I said solve A before B. Then I can't say that solve B before A. Or say I have two variables x and y. If I say solve x before y, then I can't say solve y before x. This is not allowed. Either you have to solve x before y or you have to solve y before x. Use either one of them, whatever suits your requirement. So if you solve x before y and solve y before x, this is not going to be allowed. Then RAND-C is not allowed. If you are using cyclic randomization, you can't use solve before. Whatever variables you want to use in solve before, you should use RAND, not RAND-C. Next important point is only integers are allowed. Other data types like string or some other data type which does not take integer values should not be used in solve before. These are some very important points you should remember, which a lot of people don't even go through. So I request you to also take care of these important points. RAND-C is not allowed, only integer values are allowed, and you can't use x before y and y before x together. Now let's understand the solve before with the help of example. What happens if you don't use solve before? Let us see that example first. I have two random variables, each is of one bit, A and B. I have only one constraint which says whenever my A equal to 0, B should also be equal to 0. It means whenever your A equal to 0, B cannot be 1. Not allowed. It means you have only earlier, if without this constraint, you have four possibilities. A can take 0 value, and 1 value, B can take 0 value and 1 value. But now what happened, whenever A takes 0 value, B can take only 0 value. So instead of 4, now you will have only 3 solutions because of this constraint. A equal to 0, B equal to 0 is one solution. A equal to 1 and B equal to 0 is other solution. A equal to 1, B equal to 1 is other solution. A equal to 0, B equal to 1 is not allowed. Why? Because I have set a constraint, whenever A equal to 0, B can take value only 0. B cannot take value 1. That is why you have only 3 different solutions, and by default the solver will assign equal probability to all solutions, which is 1/3. Now let us see what happens when you use solve A before B. Same example, I have a rand A and B. Both are 1-bit variables. And then I have a constraint which says whenever A equal to 0, B should be equal to 0. And I am saying solve A before B. What does this statement mean in English? Solve A before B. Means before you solve the value of B, you should solve the value of A. What is A? It is a random 1-bit variable. What are probable solutions for random 1-bit variable? Either 0 or 1. It means the probability of A equal to 0 is going to be half, and probability of A equal to 1 is going to be half, because I am solving A first. So the total probability will first go to A, and depending on the probability of A, the values of B will get generated. Let us see how. One thing, A is solving before B, that is why A will have first priority, which means the two values of A equal to 0 and A equal to 1, will get generated with equal probability. A equal to 0 will have probability of half. Now, when A equal to 0, B can take value only 0. B can't take value of 1. That is why the entire probability half for A equal to 0 is for this solution only. Whenever A equal to 0, B is also equal to 0. The probability of generating A equal to 0 and B equal to 1 is 0. Because whenever A equal to 0, B can be only 0. B cannot be equal to 1. That is why A equal to 0, B equal to 0 is getting half probability. Now, A equal to 1 got probability of half, and whenever A equal to 1, B can be either 0 or B can be 1. Both solutions are possible. So this total probability of A equal to 1, which was half, is going to be equally divided into these two solutions. Whenever A equal to 1, B can be either 0 or B can be 1. And both these solutions are going to have 1/4 probability. Probability of A equal to 1 is 1/4. Probability of A equal to 1, and when A equal to 1, B equal to 0, that probability is 1/4, and probability of A equal to 1, B equal to 1 is 1/4. This is how the probabilities got changed by using solve before. And here A is getting more priority compared to B. Now let us see what happens when you use solve B before A. Same example, two random bits A and B. There is a constraint which says whenever A equal to 0, B can only be equal to 0. And now I am using solve B before A. Now, B is a 1-bit variable. What are different solutions of B? Either 0 or 1. B equal to 0 and B equal to 1 will take equal probability of half. B equal to 0 will be generated half of the time, and and B equal to 1 will be generated half of the time. Now, when your B equal to 0, A can be either 0 or 1. Here you see A equal to 0 implies B equal to 0, but B equal to 0 does not imply A equal to 0. So when your B equal to 0, A can be either 0 or 1. It means B equal to 0, A equal to 0 will be generated 1/4 times. B equal to 0, A equal to 1 will be generated 1/4 times. Here B equal to 0, A equal to 0 is generated 1/4 times. B equal to 0, A equal to 1 is generated 1/4 time. Why? Because probability of B equal to 0 was half, and when B equal to 0, A can take value of either 0 or 1. That's why the probability of each of these solutions became 1/4 now. So that total probability of B equal to 0 is half. Now probability of B equal to 1 is also half. So here if you see, whenever B equal to 1, A will be only 1, because B equal to 1 is not possible when A equal to 0. B equal to 1 is not possible because of this constraint. That is why this particular constraint, which is B equal to 1, A equal to 1, is taking half probability. Earlier, we saw that the probabilities were A equal to 0, B equal to 0 was taking half probability, because we were giving more importance to the values of A. But here we are giving more importance to the value of B. And depending on the probability of B, we are first seeing the probability of B, and depending on that, the probability of A's will be decided. This is how the probabilities change by using solve before. Now let us see a coding example. This is the coding example. Let us first see what happens without using solve before. I have taken the same example which I have described. I have two random 1-bit variables A and B. I am having only one constraint which says when A equal to 0, B should be equal to 0. I have three counters for three different solutions. I want to see how many times a particular solution has occurred, so that I see if the probabilities which we calculated are going to be followed or not. That's why I have three different counters. I am creating an object of this class, and I'm calling the constructor here. Then I'm initializing all counters first to 0. I'm randomizing this class 1000 times. Whenever I have first solution which is A equal to 0, B equal to 0, I am displaying solution 1, the values of B and the values of A, and I am incrementing counter 1. Similarly, for second solution which is A equal to 1, B equal to 0, we will display the values of B and A. For the third solution, which is A equal to 1, B equal to 1, we will display the values of B and A. And then finally, we are also displaying the values of counters. So that depending on value of counters, we will see whether the probabilities which we calculated are going to be followed or not. One thing you should remember is we call this as probability. Probability means it's a probability, not surety. That's why probabilities which you see are roughly going to be followed. Not exactly, but roughly if you see, it is going to be followed. Let us run this code and then you will understand what I am saying right now about probabilities. So one thing which we saw, when we don't use solve before, whatever solutions are there, the solver generates them with almost equal probability. Here, since A and B are 1-bit variables, A can take value either 0 or 1 and B can take value either 0 or 1. So 2 into 2 should be 4 combinations. But then we also have a constraint which says when A equal to 0, B should always be 0. It means when A equal to 0, B equal to 1 is never going to get generated. That's why we have only three possible solutions. A equal to 0, B equal to 0 is one solution. A equal to 1, B equal to 0 is another solution, and A equal to 1, B equal to 1 is third solution. And all of them are going to have equal probability, which is one third. Now let us run this and we'll see how many times these values have actually got generated. I'm expecting the probability should be one third. One third means out of 1000 times, one third is almost 333. So if you see, almost 333 times each value is getting generated. Almost, roughly, it's being followed. The first counter is 318, second is 334, and third is 348. So roughly one third times it is getting followed, which is correct as per our calculation. Now let us add a constraint which says solve A before B. Solve A before B means what should happen? A should get solved before B. What are the possible solutions for A? One possible solution is A equal to 0. Another possible solution is A equal to 1. Now, when A equal to 0, B can only be 0. B cannot be 1. So, whenever A equal to 0, the value of A equal to 0 is going to get generated with half probability. And when A equal to 0, B can only be 0. So A equal to 0, B equal to 0 is going to be generated with half probability. And the remaining two values, which were A equal to 1, B equal to 0, and A equal to 1, B equal to 1, will get one fourth probability. Let us run this and see if these probabilities are getting followed. What we said, A equal to 0, B equal to 0 should get almost half probability, which was 500. And the remaining two solutions, which is A equal to 1, B equal to 0, and A equal to 1, B equal to 1, should get one fourth probability, which is almost 250. So here if you see, counter 1 is generated almost 469 times, counter 2 almost 265 times, and counter 3 almost 266 times. So almost roughly the probabilities are getting followed. Now what we are going to do, we are going to make it as solve B before A. B before A, if we solve, what will happen? B will get solved before A. What are possible values of B? B equal to 0 and B equal to 1. Now, when B equal to 0, A can be either 0 or 1. If you see, it says A equal to 0 implies B equal to 0. It doesn't say B equal to 0 also implies A equal to 0. It means when B equal to 0, A can be either 0 or 1. Both things are possible. So the total probability of B equal to 0 was half, and the probability of A equal to 0 when B equal to 0 is one fourth, and probability of A equal to 1 when B equal to 0 is one fourth. The second possible value for B is going to be B equal to 1. Now when B equal to 1, can A be 1? Yes. When B equal to 1, A can be 1. But when B equal to 1, can A be 0? No, because of this constraint. When B equal to 0, A has to be 0. That is why the probability of B, which was half, is going completely to the solution B equal to 1, A equal to 1. That is why the solution, which is solution 3, B equal to 1, A equal to 1, is going to get generated with half probability, which is almost 500 times. And the other two solutions, A equal to 0, B equal to 0, and A equal to 1, B equal to 0, is going to get generated with one fourth probability, which is almost 250. Let us run this and see if the probabilities are getting followed or not. I am expecting counter 1 and counter 2 to take almost one fourth probability, which is almost 250. So counter 1 is taking 223, counter 2 is taking 243, which is almost one fourth. And counter 3, I want to take half. Half is almost 500, and counter 3 took almost 531, which means my probabilities are roughly followed. Now with this example, you saw how in all three different codes the probability of the solution is changing. The solutions are same. There are only three solutions: A equal to 0, B equal to 0, A equal to 1, B equal to 0, A equal to 1, B equal to 1. But the probability with which these solutions are getting generated is changing for every example. This is the power of solve before. You can change the distribution of constraint solver. I hope after this video you should never get confused with solve before. I have really tried my best to take as easy example as possible and make you understand in as easy language as possible with the output. I request you, if you are still not understanding, please try to go through this video again. I'm sure after going through this video at least few times, this is going to be very clear. And please try to execute this code by yourself. When you execute this code by yourself and run it, analyze the output, that's when it is going to be permanent in your mind. That's what we want. Each and every concept should be permanent in your mind. To stay tuned to such video lectures, please subscribe to Sweetie Speaks official YouTube channel. Thank you.